Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Honda Amaze, the second generation model, and straight away let's open the engine bay of this vehicle. A little bit of a struggle right now, but here it is. It says Earth Dreams Technology, and this engine has never been cleaned in its life. That's why it's so dirty right now. There's insulation right there, but that insulation really does not do much because you can hear a lot of the motor on the inside. Anyways, the design is fresh and it has a retro charm somehow. So as you see, the grille is a bit too upright. It gets the chrome slash right there. I mean, overdose of chrome you might say. It does look nice. There is a towing hook here. That is the fog light of the vehicle, and this is the headlight. It's a halogen unit, but this happens to be the pilot light, which is finished in LED, but it's not a DRL any which ways. The chrome continues from here and keeps moving, which is actually nice. It gives it the premium appeal. The tires are now 15 inches, which is a size up from its predecessor. In fact, this car is up in terms of size in every parameter compared to its predecessor. It's longer, it's wider, both in terms of overall width as well as front and rear track as well. The wheels are now 15 inches, but still under tired. I would say 175, 65, 15s. The alloy wheel design could have been a little bit more adventurous. Car looks nice from the side, but a little bland. However, the boot has been integrated beautifully well on this vehicle. Just look at the way the boot has been integrated. The lights might remind you, rather the tail lights might remind you of the Civic. And of course, the lights look nice. The rear parking sensors, there's a reverse parking camera on offer, and of course, the Honda logo and a tailpipe there. Anyways, I love the lights as VX ID Tech Amaze on the other side, and there's a shark fin antenna there too. So even the wheelbase of the vehicle has increased compared to its predecessor by 65 mm. Overall, the result is the cabin is much more spacious, both in terms of legroom as well as shoulder width. However, it's still best for 2 passengers. Anyways, door pockets are large enough. You've got the Indian flag there, and yeah, the seats are finished in beige, giving that airy feeling. There's good amount of space on offer somehow. The floor is almost flat and headroom is adequate, but you know what? There are no adjustable headrests at the rear, which is a bit disappointing. Anyways, right inside we are, and as you can see, there is good amount of space on offer here. Plenty of space on offer here. Neha, I've got something for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Anyways, as you see, there's good amount of space on offer, good amount of legroom, good amount of knee room. Under thigh support is good as well, but headroom is a bit of a problem because my hair is right now scrubbing the roof completely. So yes, headroom could have been better. Anyways, that is an issue for tall passengers. Yes, slightly scooped out seat back, magazine holders. There's a power outlet right there, which happens to be a 12-volt outlet. And overall, the cabin does feel nice. There's a handle on both the sides. There's a light placement in the center. And the twin cup holders in the center armrest add to that practicality bit. ISOFIX child seat mounts as well. But this is a grave omission. I mean, you need adjustable headrests. That's seriously not safe. Anyways, coming to the front of the vehicle, let me tell you what Honda has done is great. Firstly, both the doors have keyless entry, passive entry. Put your hand in, don't have to press a button, and it unlocks the car. That is really nice and sweet. Door pockets at the front are also large enough. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirrors. You can press a button to close the outside rear view mirrors. That's also pretty cool on this vehicle. Power window controls, and overall quality of the car is good but not great because you know what? There are a lot of hard plastics everywhere. So cost cutting is there, and it doesn't have the same level of quality as what's offered by Hyundai. This is the push button start. There is no dead pedal there. I mean, yeah, you can keep your leg there. It's not like a dedicated dead pedal. It should have been a little bit lifted, could have been better engineered. This is to open the fuel flap, and this is to open the hood of the vehicle. This is obviously the headlight leveler. Stepping inside, let me tell you, there are plenty of features on offer, which is actually a nice thing. Neha, are you done with doing your story or your boomerang? Anyways, dashboard design is really very nice indeed, and the glove box is also decent size. Yes, it can accommodate a decent amount of stuff, mainly papers, that is. Twin cup holders, there's space in front as well. Someone glares are lying there, and there is a power outlet here along with a USB port, actually 2 USB ports. There's space below the handbrake to keep stuff, and obviously there's space here as well. So there is no auto dimming inside your view mirror. There is the fast tag, which I think we guys only stuck. Anyways, there's a mirror here. There's no mirror, there's no light on the driver's side. There's no toll receipt holder either. Anyways, people will be like, you have fast tag, why do you need toll receipt holders? Okay, no toll receipt holders, but at least I can keep change and papers and whatnot. Anyways, the instrument cluster is a little retro. Analog unit, you get a multi-information display in the center, and that's finished in white. A lot of information there actually, like it's loaded with too much information, which can cause a little bit of confusion unless and until you know exactly where you're looking. There's a range indicator, there are twin trip meters as well, and it'll tell you average fuel economy 18.8 kilometers per liter with Neha's driving style, wherein she actually sips all the fuel. Well, Neha, drive more efficiently, save the earth. Anyways, you get a lot of information here, which is actually nice, the odometer, trip meter and whatnot, but analog units for the speedometer as well as a tachometer. Meanwhile, telltale lights are placed all over. Now this happens to be the control for the lights. Yeah, this happens to be the control for the lights. This happens to be the control for the wipers. The wipers work really well. Good amount of spray on offer. One nozzle puts 3 streams of spray, and I think the water is over now. Anyways, these are the buttons for the cruise control. These are the buttons for the audio. Yeah, audio system. You can browse through this, and the horn is a bit meek. It seems like it needs glycodin badly. What did you do? You ruined the horn, didn't you?
Yeah.
Anyways, these are controls for the air conditioning. It gets climate control air conditioning system, and the screen is a little difficult to read right now because it is day. At least clean this stuff. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, so anyways, you get a reverse parking camera. So that is a reverse parking camera. It gets guidelines, but the guidelines are obviously not adaptive. Let's play an audio right away. The audio system just cannot keep up with the bass of a bassy song, because you see everything was vibrating as such, and the audio quality is just about average, nothing great, nothing much to talk about as such. Anyways, what is the real highlight? It is obviously the drive experience, which is much better. Neha, you've been driving this car since a long time. Do you like it? Do you love it?
No, I did love it, but yeah, it's okay.
It's better than Superb for sure, and much better than the Duster. And on that
So
bombshell,
sharp.
it's time to drive. Let's get going. But before we get going, let's have a quick look at the audio-visual navigation AVN system of this Honda Amaze. Now, it's got navigation, which is kind of slick, but you know what? It keeps beeping when there's a speed limit change and telling you the new speed limit, which is kind of irritating, but you can shut it off, I'm sure. It gets Apple CarPlay, it gets Android Auto connectivity as well, which is actually a nice thing, and you can do photo frame and all that stuff. But you know, in terms of connectivity, in terms of connecting to your phone flawlessly, it's not that great. Sometimes you have to actually go through the system manually and do it, which is kind of disappointing and time consuming as well. There's no light at the front, which is again disappointing, because usually these compact sedans are used by 2 people and children at the rear. So light at the front would be really helpful as well. Has your phone always connected to the car flawlessly?
Yes, with my Duster, with my Super, with my Merc.
I'm
yes.
talking about the Amaze.
No.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, multiple times connect it as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a handle here on the driver's side. That's kind of awkward and weird. Meanwhile, I forgot to show you guys the boot as well. So we're going to open the boot right now. Now, the boot is bigger than the old Amaze. It's bigger than the Dzire as well. So it's a big boot in that sense. But, these things actually eat into the boot. Actually, in terms of placing a large item. However, the boot is big enough to carry 2 suitcases without any hiccup whatsoever. The spare wheel isn't an alloy. It's a space saver spare wheel. Space saver because it uses a 175/70 14-inch tire, not a 15-incher. And of course, there's a steel wheel placed there. So a lot of cost cutting here and there on this vehicle. Now, obviously, to get it onto an attractive price point. The front seats are comfortable, but the co-passenger seat is a bit on the lower side here. Now, as a car, the Amaze could have done with a lot more features, especially considering what Hyundai is offering in the Aura. But we'll talk about that once you're driving the car. How do you like this vehicle? Don't you think it's better than the Duster, better than your Lamborghini Urus and the Superb as well?
My phone gets connected flawlessly with my Duster, with my Super.
One second, you're forgetting one thing. The Duster does not get keyless entry and push button start.
There's light here and behind also.
I can put 15 lights here. Let's get driving. Alright, we are all set to go, which means no turning off traction control because the car does not have it. Revving to 2000 RPM. That is the wheel spin on offer, and before you know it, you have already hit the red line, because this motor has a very small rev range. Red line's at 4300 RPM, but the acceleration is quite brisk and the motor really pulls hard and fast. Turbo lag is an alien concept here because it has no turbo lag whatsoever. Some amount of wheel spin on offer. Now, this is a 1.5 litre diesel motor from Honda, which produces 100 PS of power and 200 Newton meters of torque. Now, Honda has done a Land Rover here because the CVT actually produces 20% less output. Yes, that's right. In the CVT, the torque output happens to be 160 Newton meters. Meanwhile, the power output has been curtailed at 80 horsepower. Why? In order to save the belt of the CVT transmission. But the performance is quite slick because the CVT box works well in order to ensure that the performance is quite slick. Now, this car is actually faster than its predecessor in spite of having the same output numbers. How is that possible? Well, it is lighter by more than 50 kgs, and also the engine has been retuned as well. The gear ratios are the same as before, which means that it really runs to the red line in no time at all. 0 to 100 km per hour is actually faster by more than 1.5 seconds in the new car. That's a significant difference from before. In fact, it takes around 11 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which makes it quite fast and brisk as well. The best thing about this car is the lack of turbo lag, because the motor has been tuned in a way that drivability is the forte. It doesn't have any lag whatsoever, pulls very linearly throughout, and the mid-range is also strong, but in the top end it loses breath, and there's no top end as such because it redlines very fast, just at 4,300 rpm. That is very abrupt and very quick as well, because the red line doesn't come smoothly. It's all of a sudden, it's kind of like hitting a wall. All of a sudden someone's like, hey, you stop, where are you going? You cannot go cross this. And that's not only with the red line, it's also with the top speed of this car, which is restricted and limited to 140 kilometers per hour. And again, it's like hitting a wall at that speed, because someone comes ahead and says, no baby, no, you can't go any further. That's not allowed at all. Well, that is the unfortunate part, because this motor is so much more capable than this. It can easily wing past 170 kilometers per hour, but high speed stability is not good, and that's the reason why Honda has actually restricted the top speed of the Amaze. Into first gear, revving the motor. That is a lot of wheel spin on offer, and then abruptly you hit the red line. Now let me get the elephant in the room out immediately. What is the price range of this car? It starts at rupees 7.28 lakhs for the base petrol and goes all the way till 11.83 lakhs for the top end diesel. Now all the prices are on-road Mumbai, but the variant we are driving right now is priced at rupees 11.08 lakhs. Now the price difference between the manual and the automatic for the diesel, the CVT, happens to be rupees 75,000, and yes, 20% drop in power and torque output, but never mind. The convenience the CVT brings is absolutely staggering, and Honda has pulled a rabbit out of the hat by offering a CVT diesel. That's something none of us expected it to offer. Anyways, as far as the platform is concerned, it's not the same Brio platform as earlier. Now Honda has actually sat and re-engineered the complete car, and from grounds up thought about making a compact sedan, unlike before where they made a Brio and then it's like, you know what, it's a nice idea to slap on a boot here. But here, this is not the situation. That's the reason why the Amaze feels so much better in its second generation avatar. In fact, the performance is so brisk that, get onto the gas and there's an immediate response. The punch from the motor is absolutely sensational. With the second generation model, they have really worked a lot on the engine to make it much more refined, and it definitely is more refined than the earlier motor, but it's still on the noisier side. The problem is that it gets very vocal once you get past the mid-range, and the bigger problem is that there's some vibrations which can be felt on the pedals as well as the steering wheel as well as the gear lever. And talking about the gear lever, shifts are extremely smooth and they're properly defined gates as well, but the clutch has a lot of travel. It is a bit springy in action, so could have been better calibrated for sure, but the gearbox is an absolute joy to use. You will never ever fall shift. That is the quality of gear shift on this vehicle. It's absolutely well engineered in that aspect for sure. Yeah, the car is definitely under tired, and all that has been done in the interest of fuel economy. It's a light car, it's a compact car, and it's very efficient as well. It returns a fuel economy of more than 20 kilometers per liter for a diesel car, which is absolutely staggering. But because it's such a light car, if a truck passes by from the side at higher speed, it actually makes the car move a bit. So high speed stability isn't that great, but the steering is offering good amount of feel and feedback. It does weigh up at higher speeds, but it's not that pinpoint accurate somehow. And the overall, feel from the car isn't that great because of the noisiness from the motor. The engine is noisy. There's a lot of road noise which creeps in. There's a lot of wind noise as well. It's a small compact car which is easy to maneuver and easy to pilot and easy to park and easy to take through corners as well. But here's the problem. The suspension is on the softer side, which bodes very well for the ride quality of this vehicle. But over expansion joints, you can see there's a lot of movement. It bobs, it wallows, it does all of that. So over bad potholes, it does a great job because the suspension is on the softer side. But if you get really sharp bumps, it can move the car quite a bit. And especially at higher speeds, you can feel that softness a lot. So I would say the ride quality is great for the city, but not so much for the highway. And it doesn't really inspire confidence to push hard on the highways. But in the city, you can zip, zap and zoom as well. Anyways, here we are into fifth gear. Get into the gas. The motor is always eager, always ready, and always on the boil to take you ahead without any hesitation whatsoever. So as I see it, the Honda Amaze is a great car. Even the brakes are super strong on this vehicle, and in spite of the small tires, it does stop in no time at all thanks to the lightweight of this vehicle. That's a lot of wheel spin on offer, but then, oh my god, on the upshift, small wheel spin as well. So the Honda Amaze turns out to be a great car. Without a doubt, it is one of the best compact sedans in the market. It looks good, definitely way better than the Hyundai Aura, and Honda has done a great job in terms of design. but this car simply cannot match the aura in terms of refinement and quality, and even in terms of equipment, because there's a lot of equipment which is lacking in this vehicle when compared to near competition. But with the facelift, Honda should address all that and more. What they really need to focus on is refinement of the diesel motor. The petrol engine isn't that powerful, but then it's a naturally aspirated unit, and no other engine in this segment really puts your pants on fire unless and until it has a turbo. And now with turbo being offered by Hyundai in the Aura, Honda should also consider getting a small capacity turbocharged motor, because turbo is the way forward. And it's shocking Honda still not got a turbocharged petrol engine yet in the Indian market. Yeah, I know, it is baffling. The Japanese automaker was known as the king of petrol engines, but now they are slipping away, with their advantage now being diminished by new rivals, especially from Korea, which do not hesitate to offer a turbo petrol engine. Anyways, with a turbo petrol engine, I think the wheels would come off the Amaze because of the small size tire and the lightweight. But in terms of city drivability, in terms of city usage, the Amaze is an absolute fantastic purchase, which comes with the Honda assurance of great warranty as well as great durability as well. So guys, this is my vlog on the Honda Amaze diesel manual, and if you liked it, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up. That's a like button. Oh my god, that's a BMW GT, Neha's favorite car. You love the GT, don't you? Yeah, it gives you a good trip, not a bad one. Anyways, if you like this vlog, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.